Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I just want to hi buddy, he wanted to say hi too. Thank you. I just want to take a moment here to drop in and then speak about this beautiful portal that we are in. Today is Easter, and Easter has a lot of meaning, rich meaning for a lot of religions and spiritual communities. I just want to preface that what I'm sharing here is from my own heart and what I have done in my own research and what really resonates for me. So this isn't about dogma. This isn't about the story of Christ and Easter. This is more about the metaphorical process of the psychological descent and the psychological ascent into renewal or rebirth. And I would really love to just offer this here for people who are feeling really drawn to the spring and the cycle of new life and new beginnings, for people who have moved through some really deep grief or letting go. This story and this time is really medicine for my soul as someone who has been walking through those layers. And I really think there's a beautiful message that Easter has to offer us, and the way that Mary Magdalene greets her feelings and the way that she rises through all of that, and the way that integration and renewal happens. So that is where I'm coming from today. It is just because I want to, and there's no other reason. But I do want to drop in, and I just want to invite you to be on that level with me, to not receive this from a place of over intellectualizing and needing to get it right or know everything right now. Really to feel how this story or these things that I share with you are alive or not alive in you. Like, what is your truth? What it is you're walking through. So I just want to take like a minute or two here just to drop into our bodies. Really feel your breath. Maybe let out any sound. For me, I have a lot of energy coming up here in my solar plexus. So I'm just going to place a hand there, and I would invite you to place a hand where you feel your body. Just really being here in this moment with ourselves and then with each other. So I want to begin with the moon, as I always do. The moon is finishing up in Capricorn, which is an earth sign. And the sun just moved out of the fires of Aries and into the ground of Taurus. So we're really today on Easter sitting in a lot of earth medicine, which is perfect for renewal and the resurrection of Christ, or the resurrection of life. And this is the place that I want to begin. It's the light at the end of, or through, I should say, the tunnel, the descent, the tomb. And we're really sitting at this beautiful moment where we get to tune in and really sit with everything that has remained from the fires of Aries, because a lot has been burned away, at least for me, and I don't think I'm alone in that. And to look at what has remained, what is the truth, the essence that is here. And these are the seeds, these are the things that we are now planting into the earth medicine of this next moon as we enter the ground of Taurus, and we begin to really feel the practicality of new life, of beginning again, of actually taking action on these big dreams that we have or these goals. So that's really where I feel this energy is today. Yesterday was a holy day, an in-between day. So today is the resurrection. Yesterday was the in-between day. And really this is between the crucifixion and the resurrection, where a lot of feelings and unknown is coming up in many, many, many people. It's the place in the story where Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and all of his disciples, or most of them, are in disbelief and are, especially Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, like weeping. This is sacred grief. This is sacred feeling. This is sacred rage. This is the moment of catharsis where we're sitting at the depth, at the bottom of whatever descent we went on, and we're just in it. No end in sight. All the feelings, all the confusion, nowhere to like see any form of resolution, of peace, of understanding, just total devastation and a surrender to the waves of emotion that come through a deep loss, which brings us to, the portal of Good Friday and the crucifixion. And it is in that moment, it is a conscious choice on Christ's part to allow the crucifixion, right? He is consciously making this descent, this choice to surrender, to release, to die. And in this beautiful story, these are the parts that I really want to focus on. This is the psychological medicine that is on offer today. And even if you're not doing it today and you see this at a different time, like, it's archetypal. It lives in us. It's just most potent right now, and it's great to work with right now, but it doesn't mean that we can't work with these stories every day, whenever we want. So I really want to highlight that the crucifixion is much like Inanna's descent, is a conscious choice to surrender, a conscious choice to be done with a certain pattern, a belief system, a way of being, a deep surrender to what has been, because it's no longer necessary or no longer working or no longer serving. And it's very courageous and also really tender to make this conscious choice to meet death and to go down and to strip away everything that makes us comfortable, everything that makes us safe and happy and feel content and okay in life. So that's the first part. And then the second part is the descent. Really, when you're in it. You're just in it. Everything's falling away. And eventually you land at the bottom of the descent where you're just naked and destroyed, and you don't really recognize the parts of you anymore because they've all been disintegrated, fragmented, separated, so that things that don't belong, things that aren't real, can burn away or fall away in this descent. And what remains is the essence, the purity, the truth of the situation, of the soul, of the descent. So that's Saturday. And it can be really intense, right? A lot can fall away here, and a lot can arise here. This is where our shadows come out. This is where our defense mechanisms come out, our coping mechanisms, our ability to kind of mask ourselves or cloak ourselves or shield us away from the truth, the utter truth of what is real. And this is the end of the descent, when we get through all the falling away and we are left with the irrefutable truth. And this can be sometimes a felt experience, like there are no words for it. Sometimes it is an image, a way of being you wish to be in the world, something you want to bring through you into the world. Sometimes it is where it's like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. And then underneath that truth, underneath those words, is a remembrance of true essence, which usually in my experience has been some form of reclamation of power. And I don't mean power in the sense of like domination and like I have power over you. It's like sovereign, whole power, the places where we have taken our power of choice or our power of thought, our power of speech, our power of whatever it is, and we've placed it in someone else or institutions outside of ourselves. And we have forgotten that that lies within us and that we are actually powerful in some way, in whatever form of power you're working with. So that is normally what we find here at this space. That is Saturday, and it is a lot to work through. And then Sunday is the beautiful resurrection. And it's not something that people are anticipating, right? Mary Magdalene doesn't go to Christ's tomb on Sunday being like, I'm going to see the resurrected Christ. She goes there to anoint his body for the second time. And she's doing it out of her like deep devotion and her deep love and her deep grief and her devotion to the process of this transformation, because she knew, she walked this path with Christ. Christ said, this is what I'm going to do. And there is an ascent, and like you are part of that process. She was holding that process for him. And she goes there to anoint his body, and what she finds is, to her greatest joy and like surprise, delight, the resurrected Christ. And that is the moment that light returns, right? That's the moment that we are transformed and we are renewed in the metaphorical descent that we went through. Now we are rising with these gems, these truths, and sometimes they are really raw truth, right? They're just like, I am done. And sometimes they're really beautiful truths, and they're really creative. Like, these are the things that are coming up now because everything else has fallen away, and we are renewed in a sense of power, right power, in a sense of sovereignty, in a sense of love, lots of pure love. And I mean like unconditional love, like pure light and love and devotion and renewal of spirit. So this is kind of the portal we're sitting in. And we, in this Aries last moon that we walked through, we went through the fires of disillusion. We went through the fires of Aries, which is the initiator. It's the first sign of the zodiac sign, and it really wants us to meet the parts of us that are ready to be laid to rest, that are ready to die, that things are ready to fall away. That is what we walk through in this last moon together. And as the moon wanes and we switch into Taurus, we're coming into this new life, just like this portal of crucifixion into resurrection. So this weekend and even these coming days are really, really potent for kind of going on these inner descents and really asking yourself, really clearly saying, like, what is no longer working? What am I ready to let go of? What is just really draining my life force energy? And then having the courage to say, you know what, okay, I surrender these things. And that doesn't mean that tomorrow things change or in a week things change. This is an internal shift. All of this shifting This transformation is happening internal. The choice to deliberately surrender is an act of devotion to who you're becoming. And in the process of that holy day, that holy in-between day on Saturday between the crucifixion and resurrection, where you are like utterly destroyed and you are being stripped away, this could last a day, this could last a week. Depending on how long you want to go and how deep you go, this could last months, right? This is a holy day of really honoring all the emotion. This is the day that Mary Magdalene wept and wept and wept. She just let her emotion come through and out. She cleared. She stayed in devotion to what was real, even through the pain, even through the loss, even through the confusion, even through the unknown. And that is the gift that ushers us into the renewal or the resurrection of our spirit. The ability to feel and release without attachment. It doesn't matter the story anymore. It doesn't matter that you're angry or you have judgments or you have these things. These things are here to fall away, to be with, so that you can become clear and you can sit with what is real. And it is this that becomes resurrected. And I just really feel this so beautifully articulated in the story of Easter and in the devotion of Mary Magdalene. And my recommendation is to just tune in and ask yourself, even here in this moment, like where on this journey do you feel you are? Maybe you're at the beginning and you need to take that moment to deeply and consciously surrender and say, you know what, I choose this. I choose to let this die. I choose to let this go. Or maybe you're like me today, where you've really been working with these things, and today you woke up in utter delight and surprise that you have some energy, that you have some life, that you have some light. That's really me. I really feel like I woke up today after just an immense amount of work this last moon, and I feel renewed. Nothing in my life has shifted. I still have, the same job. I still have the same things. I still have the same home, the same people in my life. There's nothing that's physically shifted except that my heart and that my soul is unburdened, is lightened, and has shifted. And I'm no longer putting my power or I'm not displacing my responsibility, my choices, my actions on other people or institutions. I am here right now. And this will shift because I am human and I will forget, and then I will have to pick this up again. But I am here now, and I am deeply in devotion to remembering what it means to constantly come home to myself, even after I've forgotten. It is in the remembering, the regathering, the re-piecing together that we come into the truth of life, and that life is only now. And we have everything we could possibly need in this moment, even when the world is burning, even when things are hard. That is my truth, and I don't have all the answers, and the world is still burning, and the things are still happening, but I am no longer feeling overcome by it. I am here, and I choose to be here now, and I choose to rise to however life needs me to show up. And I don't always know what that looks like, but I really love this story, and I would really just love to know, like, where you feel you are in this metaphorical portal of descent, death, and renewal, and really what's stirring for you as we shift into this new zodiac sign, and what's just coming up in the waning moon, this shadowy aspect of release, because the new cycle is on its way, and we have a choice. Are we going to still do the things that we've always been doing? And I don't say that from judgment. I say that from knowing. I have lived cycles and cycles of the same thing over and over and over again. So much frustration, so much angst, so much grief, so much just disbelief that I was like still dealing with this thing. That's part of the process, so there's no judgment here. But I am just curious, like, how does this story live through you, and what parts of the Easter story are you most resonant with? And maybe you just want to do some research and really dive into some stories and just really stew in the medicine of what Easter means to so many different religions and spiritual sects out here in our culture of humans, because it is rich and it is alive. And I just really wanted to take some time today to honor this story because it is so dear to me. I grew up LDS. I'm no longer LDS, and this story was always really beautiful to me, even growing up, even when I didn't really know what I believed about religion. I'm no longer religious. I don't have any religious affiliation. I just am really deeply into archetypal medicine and psychology and just being in the body. So I really believe that all story is medicine, as Clarissa Pinkola Estes, who is the most amazing woman, has said in many of her books. I think that one specifically comes from Women Who Run with the Wolves. And it's true. Story is medicine. Story lives in us. And that is why stories are so powerful. And that is why the stories we tell ourselves are so powerful. So this story of death and then renewal is really a way to reanimate and even redefine what death means. There are various ways we die. Sometimes we die psychologically. There is always going to be a physical death. That is where we're all going. But to practice the art and the subtlety of what death really is, you come to find these cycles of life living within. And that is why I love this work. I love working with the cycles of the moon. I love working with the cycles of my body. I love working with the cycles of earth, because it is a cycle. There is life, then there is death. And once again, to quote Clarissa Pinkola Estes, life again. And that is the magic and wonder and beauty of this world. And so I am just so happy to be here and to share this with you all. And I hope you're having a beautiful Easter day and that there is some light and renewal fluttering in for you. I'll see you all soon. Bye.